I think the plan was vague highlights of E1, where it's just kind of generally what we did. I'll keep my ridiculous walking list down, and then E2. And if it goes for a while, it goes for a while. That's why I'm doing highlights. So, E1, April, muddy.
Yes.
Big highlights of E1.
Not that rainy. Not that rainy.
Wasn't that bad. Could have been so much worse.
Could have been so much worse.
Yep.
After getting slightly damp and very cold on Saturday night, I'm very glad it wasn't more rainy.
Oh, yeah.
Very appropriate for winter magic rituals, though, so.
Listen, some of the winter magic I've seen, top notch. So, what were some highlights
ahead of yourself there, though.
What were some highlights of E1? What did people do?
I walked around a bit. I napped.
You bought cake?
I bought cake. I ate lots of food. Good food. Songs and stories. Fabulous.
Oh, top notch.
Brought a cloak. Oh, I brought a cloak and a tiny dagger, which honestly, what more can you ask for?
Out of life, in general.
Out of life. And now I have two.
Can I
Not
just
to
say,
get ahead of myself.
This is possibly very bizarre, but your cloak smells so good, Luce. Like, we came back and it smells like campfires and being in the woods. Like, it smells like Empire.
One moment.
She's going to smell it now.
She's going to go sniff it.
Since then. Oh, it's in the
maybe
wardrobe
that's how
and everything.
maybe that's how they make them over at Darkblade.
Maybe. It has been washed, Liz.
They just hang them next to a campfire and just wait.
Just wait, yeah.
See what happens.
There'd be some residualness, but no.
Yeah, it has been washed.
Oh.
It smells vaguely of outside, actually.
Yeah.
Vaguely of the outside. That's fair.
It's just because, yeah.
Songs and stories, as was mentioned, top notch, 10 out of 10, excellent experience.
This part, excellent.
Oh, skipping ahead again a little bit, but
like,
Luce, we have to go to the end of songs and stories next time because we didn't make it to the end of any of them. A1. Oh, that's what I have to say. I was the only one there. It was just me.
Wait,
I never felt like.
Was this Friday or Saturday?
I don't know how to describe it. Like the energy. Well, the only way I can think to describe it is that the vibes were immaculate, but that
the vibes were immaculate.
The vibes were
immaculate, but that it was more than that, you know.
It was more than that.
It's very like, I don't know, like you're in this fantasy world and it like you're walking around during the day and it like you feel immersed, but it's not until really you're sat round the campfire singing these songs of your nation that you're like, I am Navarre. Like, this is me. I think that's part of it.
Yeah, Songs and Stories was incredible. It really is. Like, my favorite is still
E1 Songs and Stories highlights.
My favorite.
I don't think there's any way that we can describe the feeling like that will make you understand. Like, you have to
just come and see.
Come and see. My favorite that was sung is still the one about seeing the heart of the Valorn on the ukulele. It's still one of my favorites.
Yes.
100%. By a Navari, specifically, because that marcher was also incredible.
What kind of magic is a rainbow?
What kind of magic is a rainbow?
That's going to be in our heads again. I've been free of it for a while.
Back. I must say, it was nice at E2 to, like, hear some of the same songs again and be like, I know this one. Also,
I can sing this one.
Again. I was like, yes, Painted. Love a bit of Painted. Yeah, but yeah, some of them were like, I can sing this one. And some of the people who, like, come into the circle to sing songs. So the guy who did the Blood song, we did the Blood song again. I was like,
the Blood song again.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
I know, but it's the phrasing. Yep, it was just the phrasing that made me laugh.
The Blood song.
We did the Blood song again. Songs and Stories. I enjoy having other nations come to Songs and Stories. It's just good. It's just good vibes.
Oh, there was a Brass Coast one I particularly enjoyed at E1 that I don't think either of you saw. About a guy who fell in love with an orc and he ended up losing his head. They got married and he lost his head. It was all
That
very
makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I can't remember quite how he got there, but it was very good.
But he got there.
Amusing.
That's so good though. I genuinely, if it wasn't cold and rainy, we would have hung around Songs and Stories a lot more. But it was cold and drizzly.
Well, you say. I spent more time at Songs and Stories at E2 than you did.
You spent more time in Navarre than I did.
Yes.
That
You
we'll
could
get
probably add
into
up the
that.
amount of time you spent at Navarre in E1 and E2 and add them together, and I would still have spent more
And
time.
that was
in
your
E1
Saturday.
Yeah.
You won.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Okay.
I'm trying to think what else happened at E1 that wasn't
We
just
got
me
30
wandering
seconds.
off.
We got 30-second pictures.
Oh yeah, 30-second
we
portraits.
And
did!
stuff.
30-second portraits from Cruz. I really want to find Cruz again. I didn't see them last event and I'm sad.
I saw them around, but I didn't talk to them.
I need to go find them just so I can be like, hey, updated look. Here's another 5 rings. It's very nice. E1, you got rituals done.
I got my ritual done. So basically there was discount on upgrading herb gardens in Navarre. So maybe one more season. I don't know. I upgraded my herb garden, but I also got a winter ritual cast on it. I cannot remember what it's called. Something ominous.
All ritual winters.
All ritual winters. Very
all
ominous. I'm
winter
sure people with herb
very
gardens.
Ominous.
With herb gardens, if you're watching this, you'll know what I mean. Comment. Tell me. I can't remember.
Tell us. We know nothing. Clearly.
We know nothing.
If anyone is out there who knows, please tell us. You.
Yes. So I basically I think it was Saturday night?
Saturday you came back with blood.
Yes, so I went
because you came back last.
I went to find one of our brokers who had said that we could do it on Sunday. So I was like, I've got the mana. What time do you want me tomorrow? Because I know that Sunday can be quite hectic and people can miss stuff. And I was like, if I can't find you tomorrow, then I'm not going to get done, basically. And she was like, oh, we could go now. So we just wander off out of the trees, bearing in mind that the League Festival of the Reaper was happening at the same time.
So was the High Guard March of the Dead.
We wandered out, and I didn't really know where Navarre ended and the League began. I was like, oh my goodness, we're going to get caught by the Reaper. We wandered into this tent. We start talking to this guy. He's like, oh, do I really have to do this now? And she's like, oh, but like, she's never had this ritual cast on her before. So I turn around to this guy and go, yeah, it's my first time at Annabel. And his eyes light up. He is so overjoyed. He's like, oh, you brought me a newbie. And I'm like, should I be scared? Should I? I'm not sure. He's like, step into my office and just opens the flap of this tent. We step out into the middle of a dark field. And he's like, right, winter magic. He starts talking about how it always demands a price and all this malarkey. And he's like, are you willing to pay the price? And I was like, yes. And then he gets up, like instantly. You can tell this is the moment he's been waiting for. Because he's instantly up in my face going, what did you buy for? I didn't tell you the price is. Why did you agree? I was like, oh, okay. So yeah, he cast this ritual on me to boost my herb garden, but because Navarre magic is kind of tied to blood magic, he's like, yeah, I can put blood on you if you want. And I'm like, yeah, sure, go ahead. He smears a little blood on my face, and the ritual is complete. And I then learned that he's the ex-Archmage of Winter. So not only did I, go in for a ritual, they went hard. The split roots went in hard.
They do. There we go. I hope you know. I need all of you out there to know that me and Lucy are just sat in the tent. I've taken off my makeup. I'm like getting changed into something comfy after like all day in a binder. I'm getting ready to snuggled down in a really cold sleeping bag because I was unprepared. And then we just hear the tent
I'm
open.
in bed.
Yeah, you're in bed. We heard the tent open and we were like, oh, there's Annabel. It's a bit weird. She's a bit out late. And then you came in. You turned
It's like
around
10:30.
towards my side of the tent, and I just saw blood. And I was like, don't tell me you're dead. This is your first event. Just internally sort of going, oh no, oh no,
And I was
oh
like,
dear.
she looks too happy to be dead.
I can't hear you, Luz.
Oh
I can
no!
hear you both. That's just how it works.
I was gonna say, he was talking about, like, whilst he was talking about winter magic, exactly your price, he was talking about how, like, because it's winter magic, it, like, to do with the cold, and, like, you will feel the cold within you, and I was stood there, quite damp, shaking. My knees were literally trembling. I was like, yeah, think I can roleplay that one. I think I can manage that.
I may not be a master, but I think I can handle that.
Simple request, really. That's so good. Oh, so you got a ritual done.
Yeah, I had so many herbs at you too.
You had a deck of cards, is what you had.
I'll insert the picture
I was
here.
gonna say we have the photo. Okay. So I have a farm.
I'm sure,
right?
like, experienced players will be like, that's not that many herbs. I did see people. I went to make some potions. I saw people with stacks this big, like, coming in to make potions. But for my second event, I was quite proud of my
Yeah.
stack. So, you know.
I want the people to know. So I have a farm, right? I may not keep this farm, but I have a farm. And because of, like, Ozagrin's gift or something like that was messing around with the farms, each farm got, or farms and herb gardens and maybe forests also got some herbs. They got 2 marrow root. So I get there, I get my pack, I've got all my coins in it, I take them out and I'm like, oh, I've got 2 cards. Look at that, there's some herbs. Annabelle reaches into her pack, which is sort of bulging slightly, and pulls out a deck of cards. And I was thinking, she's going to start playing solitaire. That's fine. That's what she does when she's bored in the hospital. She just starts playing poker with the other hospital people.
with the herbs, yep. Mm-hmm.
I'll raise you 2 cerulean mazarine.
Wow, it's quite popular on that one.
It really is. What else do we do at E1? I mean, like, all together. Because I know I went off and did a lot of stuff.
You know, when we went to spill tea.
Okay.
Yes, we all
I bought a raffle ticket.
And the raffle. Do we want to do the raffle first? Yeah. Raffle.
I just bought a raffle ticket.
That's also where I
Pushed
got.
us out of a ditch.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah,
pulled.
we had good
Me
people.
and
The Dutch.
Me and the Dutch.
Yes, you and the Dutch.
Became
Whilst
best
I'd been
friends.
jengered into the car.
The whole of the Dutch.
Yeah, the entirety of the
Yeah,
Netherlands.
also, if you are watching this, probably unlikely, and you are not Dutch, we're very sorry. We just assumed from your number plate that you were Dutch.
They were also.
You assumed and I.
okay, I assumed.
This is all you.
They were Dutch number plate. At least one of them was Dutch.
They were Dutch.
Fair enough. Fair.
Yeah, thank you for pushing us out of the ditch.
Their car was Dutch.
Their car was Dutch. The men with the Dutch car.
The Dutch car.
Men with the Dutch car. Love it.
Thank you for pushing us out of the ditch.
Yes.
Oh, Luz, I didn't show you. I got a little snake from there this time. They were doing lucky dip bags.
Mm-hmm.
So I got a little snake. Her name is Ember, and she likes warm people. And her favorite place in Empire is the Songs and Stories Circle in Navarre.
Oh,
I'm
no,
like,
stop it.
Send me a photo of the snake and I'll put it in.
I will.
That's not allowed.
I don't know where I put her. I think she's at home. It's
That's
okay, I'll
okay.
find her.
We'll have the snake.
She's
It's
with my
okay.
kit somewhere.
It's okay. We'll have the snake one day. The other thing you said, not songs and stories. The raffle.
Spill tea.
Spill tea. Yes, spill tea in the Brass Coast. Gorgeous. 1,000,000 out of 10. It's where we met Cruz, and got our 30 seconds portraits. They say the drama walks in the door. We turned up, and barely even a second. Not even that. We turned up as someone, as a Dornish lady was very angry about the Herald of Fools.
Pretty sure she's a Dornish hospital rep. And she turned up to the hospital at the start of E2 with a mask on, like a scarf wrapped around her face, like, I'm not coming in. I was like, what is happening in the Dawn place?
E1, so Songs and Stories. I remember, Lucy, you got adopted by some people for a little bit.
Did I got left alone for like 2 minutes and apparently looked so lost that some people came to adopt me.
I think that's how it works.
The person with the most fabulous leaf crocheted.
Mm-hmm.
What do you call it?
Shawl?
No.
Yeah, I would call it a shawl.
Shawl. That I've ever seen. Fabulous.
Don't die.
I say we. I did a lot of shopping at E2.
I did some shopping.
Yeah.
I did none. Just to clarify, I was not there.
I did buy you a tiny dagger.
I got a tiny dagger though, yes.
I will buy you a tiny dagger at E3, I promise.
Thank you.
It's a tradition. But Lucy, have I told you about my staff that Annabel convinced me to buy?
No.
I bought a beautiful staff because we were walking into Gems, one of the traders, and I was looking at the staffs because eventually I want Cad to have a staff and do battle mage things when I won't die on the field. Me as a person, not Cad. If Cad dies,
But make a new Dornish noble, innit?
Nah, I'll just go up to Barushka. Bye.
Yeah, fair enough.
But basically, I was looking at these staffs, and some of them were like huge pikes and all that, and there was this really beautiful one that was like black, and it had these two metal-like ends, and it was just, it was gorgeous. I remember looking at it and just going, that's going to be perfect when I battle mage. I might get it, might get it another time. And then Annabel stood slightly behind me, akin to a devil on my shoulder, goes, but what if it's not here next event? And I just went, oh, fuck's sake. Pulled out my wallet, grabbed the staff, and walked over to the counter. So now I have a very large staff I'm not going to use.
I'm just saying, it was exactly what you wanted, and I could tell it was exactly what you wanted, and you would have been very upset if you couldn't find it again.
Very, very true, and I appreciate it. It's hanging above my bed.
We got it in the car, that's all that matters.
It's okay. E1 next year, we won't have to worry about space, because we can travel down separately. I will hopefully be able to steal the car for a weekend. It's gonna be great. Anyway. Manifesting. E1, a lot of hospital things for you, Annabel. You had the... You had the
all Saturday evening in the hospital.
You had the really, really heartbreaking Urzen.
Yeah. Someone came in terminal. It was very sad. Yep.
So much detail.
So much detail. So I was like, I am useless in this situation, basically. Someone was like, they're from the Scarlet Guard, we need the Scarlet Guard. So I went outside to call out, because I didn't know where the Scarlet Guard is. So someone went off to get the Scarlet Guard. And they came back, there was like 5 or 6 of them, and they all like walked up with great solemn purpose, which was really like, okay. And they like, because the Urzini are all like about like personal space and stuff like that. That's one of their half magics.
Mm-hmm.
So they weren't actually touching this guy. They were like surrounding the bench, like a circle, like almost like when you do, what's it called? When they used to keep bodies in one room and they used to have people watch them for the week, like before they buried them.
Like a viewing or something?
No, like they used to like keep watch over the body so the
I know what you mean. I just don't know what the
spirit, I don't know.
Yeah.
What it's called. But yeah, it was kind of a bit like that. Like they were like almost like they were there in a spiritual capacity rather than a this is our friend capacity, which almost hammered it home more. And then I was like watching the next skirmish go out, which were all Navarre. Bearing in mind the lady on the bench next to me with Urzen, so she'd basically swap places with me when this guy came in because she knew him. I was like, what if I have to do the same thing that she's just done? For someone from Navarre coming back?
Mm-hmm.
Like a lot of people had asked me if I was okay, but then this one guy came up and asked me if I was okay, and it was just the final straw. I just like completely started crying on this guy. And he was giving me, thank you. He was giving me this amazing speech about how like my compassion made me a better healer, and like it was something our enemies didn't have, and all this, and it was amazing. If I looked like I wasn't paying attention, it's because I was trying really hard not to fully break down into complete sobs. Just on you. So that's why. It was amazing. I really appreciate it.
Oh.
And then I had a hug from a nice marcher lady. one of the hospital board. But non-execs.
Really nice.
Not the board. Yeah.
I didn't go there at E1. Then at E2, I just kept going to just like find you when there wasn't any skirmishes or anything. So I was like, yeah, I'll go hang out. And just everyone there's just
I feel like
so
I spent
nice.
a lot less time there at E2.
You got a good point. Maybe you did.
Well, no, I feel I was there more, but for shorter periods of time.
Stints, yeah.
Yeah. Like I was there for all of Saturday night at E1, basically, like for 3 hours.
Yep.
4 hours. I was there for a long time.
Oh yeah.
But I was there more often, but for short periods of time. Because I did both battles this time. Both oddly quiet, like not a lot of casualties. Well, not a lot of like wounded. Possibly a lot of I don't know about casualties. They didn't come through the hospital. That's not our job.
Saturday's battle was a shambles apparently, but Sunday's was a triumph. So you know.
It was. I was well aware of that. They all came back yelling. Very triumphant.
Sunday's battle at E1. I remember the standing circle after that. And okay.
Oh yeah, we didn't make it standing, did we, Liz?
No, because it was earlier than it was supposed to be.
Yeah, we were having lunch.
Basically, standing at E1 was when Navarre came back. Because I think it was meant to, like, be a little later. But because of what happened,
like
they
half an hour
called it
later,
early.
Yeah. I think so. I think they just wanted it done rather than brewing.
I'd been asked by one of the earls in the Knights of the Golden Mane to they saw me approach and they just went, Navarre! And I went, what? Yes. And they went, can you tell me if these 2 scouts are dead? And I went, I can go find out. So I went up and I remember going into Navarre and like Cadenza, who runs the spilled teas, coming out, and I was just like, you know, do you know who's dead? And they grabbed my hand and they were like, they're about to announce the dead, and I was like, oh, don't, this is a 2-second interaction, don't get me in the feels.
I'm not looking for anyone because like I'm actually emotionally attached to them.
I'm not looking for someone I know. Like, as a nation, I
know
can
anyone.
grieve, but
I know
no one.
Literally me, A1.
But I went to standing, and I'm like awkwardly, gently poking people during standing, just going, do you happen to know these 2 people? And nobody did. And standing happened, and Anwen is very angry, still holding the hammer, and I was like, fear, one fear, and that's that she's gonna start swinging. So we stood there, and basically there's a leaguish person who's like, this is what they're saying about you in the league because the battle went really, really badly, as I'm sure every other podcast has told everyone about. Thanks to the orders of one particular Navarre, who had been challenged to take the freezing brand. We've got like 2 brands and I can't remember which one it was. I think it was the freezing brand.
No, I'm still not entirely sure what that actually entails. Do you know?
To my knowledge, I think it's akin to when a Navarre breaks an oath they have a mark of. Is like, it is something to stay on you forever as a mark of something
and then people
you did.
know. It's like a mark of shame. Shame on you.
It's like a mark of like, it's like branding someone a heretic almost. Like everyone will know when they look at you that something happened or something like that. That's kind of what I could put together.
Mm-hmm.
So there was all this shouting about like, you should take the brand, blah 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 blah, and I'm like, okay, it's just after battle, that makes sense, you know, fair enough. He goes to the league. Apparently that goes well. We're at standing on Friday at E2.
Oh boy, standing on Friday.
I was stood there. Annabel next to me, you know. there's a wonderful photo. I need to
I
put
can
it
see we've
up.
got a lovely picture.
It's such a good photo of the two of us. And Cad's already had a lot to think about in the last 3 months. And I'm stood there watching standing, and Talus is doing, a bit of a chat. People seem a little more receptive. So obviously 3 months of cooled tempers. And then a spear gets thrown into the middle of the fucking circle, and there's a, will you take the brand, like all this stuff. And pretty much everyone is getting up and just going, what the hell, man? The guy
Knives
who's
being
just
pulled,
going, oi!
Like a whole scrap is threatening to break out in the middle of standing.
Mm-hmm.
It's all a bit intense.
Yup. And behind me, I could hear someone asking the Winter Coven to get ready. It's bad. But basically, like, and
some good pictures of it.
There's some amazing
not of standing,
photos.
of the actual branding.
Mm-hmm. Some absolutely gorgeous photos. And like, people are getting in the way, people are trying to push them away from each other, people got weapons drawn. Brenos, who is not in a good space, is like basically going,
he's
what the fuck
terminal,
is wrong
basically.
with you all? And one of our Vates, no, that was after. That was during effectively Saw, as I'm gonna call it. But Brenos basically just went, what the fuck?
Brenos, who then went to military council, even though he's basically dying. Like, this man has no chill. It is amazing.
Brenos pretty much just went, this is taking forever, sit down and shut up. It was so good.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that came to fruition. What else happened to E1 that wasn't me wandering around? The Artisans Guild? You guys went to the Artisans Guild?
I went to sell a potion at the time, but yes.
I joined up to the Artisans Guild.
Hell yeah, we have an artisan among us.
Will I make any use of my free year? Who knows? We'll see.
E4's the time.
E4.
Always the time.
Plus, one of the rituals that I was looking at basically mends an item, or mends like a selection amount of items, so like, I would do mate traits if you got me enough mana. Sure. If you make me an item, I'll do you a ritual. Why not?
Mending or something from Wintermark at E2. They just donated it.
Oh.
To the vines. I think because we did. Well, not that I was there, but I think we did good on the battlefield. The Navarre vines are pretty great. They're pretty great.
Navarre vines are great. I love the Navarre vines. Songs of the Stories really was like the only time I saw you two at E1.
We ate some meals together.
Yeah, well, we were stood around eating a meal together at one point. We were just sort of like, we've got other things to do. We'll just eat now. It was great.
Yeah.
We're largely independent as people at Empire, apparently.
Like I said, I napped a lot because I was slightly ill and very anxious. So
I spent most of the time you were on the field with you, Luce.
Called naps.
Yeah. We didn't see you, Alex. You were just gone.
Well, okay.
We're going on walks.
Listen, one day I'm going to monetize my wandering around and getting into shenanigans.
The famous walks of Cadwgan.
Cadwgan's wandering.
Cadwgan's on one tour of Annabel. We'll see what happens.
It's not even a proper tour. I'm not going to take people anywhere normal.
Just wander around and see what happens, basically. Yeah.
Well, okay.
I kind of got a taste of that on Friday night at E2. We went wandering.
Yeah, we did. We went for a wander after the Great Fire of Dawn. We'll get to that.
The Great Fire of Dawn, Luce, you missed out on so much drama.
A lot of stuff at E2. But E1,
we don't mean an in-game.
This was an out-of-game thing.
Dawn was actually on fire.
Yep.
Anyway, we're going back to it. Sorry.
Yeah. So basically, my wanderings at E1 took me everywhere. I watched an attempt at electing the throne, which was written about in the Oathright, and that was very interesting. I wandered around quite a bit. I met a wonderful freeborn called Layla. I didn't see them that E2. I'm very sad. I want to go find them and Fee again. But yeah, met wonderful freeborn. We were walking up to the Regio. We heard something behind us, turned around. Oh, assassination! It was a whole fucking time.
I
we
feel
were
like I caught
trying-
the tail end of that, but I was just like, food. I'm going for
Yep.
food. I'm just gonna.
Well, there was one on the main road, and apparently one up, like, between the edge of Urzen and the Reggio.
Yeah, I saw the
which
one
was
on the main road.
interesting.
There was someone on the floor. People were calling for the what are they
Militia.
called? The militia. Yeah, that's
Yep.
the one. I was like, the marshals.
Marshall,
The
I mean,
marshals.
this was also.
I was like, food. I want food.
This was when I bid goodbye to Layla, and I checked in on what would become the most interesting relationship Cad has to someone on the field. His introduction to Rowan Fletcher, poet.
Ah.
That's how I met Rowan. It was one of my favourite things, is that they met after an assassination.
I'm
'cause
so
I was
glad
just
I've
like,
met Rowan now.
Rowan's great, honestly.
And properly met Hypatia and Tal as well. That's...
Because I did introduce them very last minute.
Yeah.
But basically, I remember going, "Oh, are you okay?" to this very tall Briar. Like, everyone at Empire is either tiny or giants. And I just remember saying, "Oh, you good?" We had a chat, and then they just went, "We're going to go do a spring ritual. You're interested in magic. Would you like to come?" And I just went, "Why not?" And then they dragged me around for the next 2-3 hours, including to a Navari funeral. Yeah. Went up to Dawn, met Hypatia and Taliesin, hung around with House Desandras for a while, and they kind of went, "We like this one," and that's it. Shrug.
You've been adopted now.
Yeah. Apparently
By
there's
at least
threats.
5 Dornish houses.
There's threats of knife fights, Annabel. There's threats. Beer.
I think it's so funny.
Threats of knife
I'm
fights.
glad you found where you belong.
Oh, it was such a... Okay, I'll tell you about that beautiful moment later. Who said structure belonged in this podcast? Not me.
No one. And you know who we blame? OBS.
I was going to say my neurodivergence, but sure.
Well, if it weren't for OBS, we wouldn't be doing them both at the same time.
Good point, good point. So.
Also, it takes 3 to tango.
Yeah.
You're not the only one responsible
was
for
gonna
the
say.
structure of this podcast.
Good point. Good
It
point.
can confirm it actually does only take 2. We did do the tango at Senate Motions on Saturday.
We will get to Senate Motions. So, E2. Infinitely fucking hotter. I still have a mark at the base of my neck. There are tan lines where my bracers were, regardless of the sunscreen. So, E1. Tent was having some structural issues, but we fixed it.
Oh yeah, one of the poles. It was very hot, but also very windy where we were camping. And one of the poles just kept bending inwards, and I didn't know how to.
So imagine you're looking at the tent face on, Lucy. Like the door is right in front of you. The tent was kind of going. Eh. It was horrendous.
Like the whole pole, it was like rather than bending this way, it was bending this way.
It was like going inside itself. To the point where any time that like the wind was blowing and I was stood up straight in there, it would just.
It's a good job there weren't 3 of us, basically, because
we'd have been screwed. We'd have been fucked.
You're welcome.
Oh. But yeah, so what do we do first? Standing.
Which we just did. But not all of it.
Not all of it.
But yeah, so Fates Council? Did you go to Fates Council?
I did go to Fates Council. It went on about as long as Conclave used to. I love you, Navarre. I do. I really do. But the whole point of these councils is to keep things smaller. The reason people didn't like Conclave is because it took 3 hours. Let's not turn Fates Council into Conclave. Please. I beg. I think I walked off at one point and it was still going. I was like, I'm done.
Yeah.
I've got all the information you need.
Meanwhile, at Vines Council.
Meanwhile, at Vines Council, what happened?
So, we lost our hospital rep at E1. She died.
With a smile on her face.
Yeah. She passed me when we were in the out of character field, me and Lucy, and I was like, "Oh, how are you?" And she was like, "I'm dead," and we couldn't tell if she meant exhausted or actually dead.
We spent the next hour trying to figure out if she meant dead as in like, oh, that was so hard. Yeah. I'm so tired, or dead as in I am dead.
I have
She meant
died.
she was dead. She was dead.
I am
She was
deceased.
So yeah, Navarre needed a new hospital rep, and Gwen, who's like the head Vine person, was like, "So is anyone willing to step up and be the next hospital rep? Is anyone willing to step up for election?" No hands go up round the circle. I'm stood here thinking about how, you know, my first E1, like Licorice was my friendly face at the hospital. How she showed me like the ropes and she took me there, and it was like I felt like she was a bit of a friendly face and a little bit of a mentor. And I was like, you know, someone needs to be that for the newbies, and I feel like I owe it to Licorice, even though I didn't know her very long. So I was like, yeah, sure, why not?
Licorice, we hardly knew you.
No one else stands. So I just get it. So you're looking at Navarre's new hospital rep.
Hey! And you got the thickest piece of clothing known to man at the hottest event so far.
Yeah, I didn't wear it for very long. It is gorgeous, and it is a magic item.
Look at you.
I was just too warm to wear it.
That's fair. That's very fair. Yes, we had Vines and Vates Council. We discovered that boggarts were at Anvil. There was boggarts everywhere.
I heard many boggart stories. I also
so
saw
have
a
I.
boggart, but I didn't realize it was a boggart till later.
I mean, I saw a herald and I got very scared of them. But
One
that
of
was
the boggarts
Saturday.
licked a tree.
Oh.
Sorry.
Boggarts are just
They wanted to
fun.
eat forest resources, right? So
Mhm.
this one was clearly role playing to the max, because this Navarre, I was just in the market and this lady just ran up to this person and went, "You want to eat trees, right? I know where you can eat trees." And he just kind of jumped, squawked, and then ran up to the nearest tree and like licked it. And then she was like, "No, not that one."
I have heard so many good things about the boggarts. But basically, so we found out about the boggarts. They were going to be everywhere. We also heard there was going to be some Serrani wizards around, and they were going to look to the Navarre because the Navarre are, you know, we're travelers. We're the people you go to when you need to know where to go, kind of thing.
I completely missed them as well. I just assumed when we saw them, because we did see some, that they were Urizen. I
only found one, and that was because they came into the Night of Worth. I will get to that later. Yeah, we discovered that Vates Council. Some interesting things were said. I got to witness a testimony, basically writing on someone's soul for
Ooh.
the head of Vate Council, which was interesting.
Meanwhile, I was just taking my newbies off to the hospital.
Yeah, it was great. After that,
you are new, coming to Navarre, and thinking of being a hospital physicky person, come find me at E4. I won't be at E3.
if you're coming to E3 and
worry.
you want someone to get you in contact with Lilywyn, if you can find Cadwgan, good luck.
Or no, don't, because he doesn't have actual contact with me. But like, Wayne knows who I am.
Yeah.
So.
If I am sure if you want to talk to the hospital rep of Navarre, if you find Cadwgan, if you find Gwaine, any of the hospital people at the hospital, they can, in character and out of character, put you in contact with Lilywyn / Annabel.
I'm on Facebook.
Honestly, in the Empire Facebook,
in the group.
Yeah, in the
Just
Empire
put it in the
Facebook,
hospital.
just go, "Hey, I want to chat to the Navarre hospital rep about some icy mail."
Yeah.
Icy mail is great, by the way. It's so fun. I will get to that as well. Anyway, yes, I did. I went up to Dawn because I spoke.
I walked out with you. I was with you at some point.
I think we walked out because I came to Vines Council.
Legion shots from the orcs. I was coming back to check there wasn't anything else before I had to go back to the hospital to then come back to Cheese and Vine. I spent a lot of time on Friday night running backwards and forwards between Navarre and the hospital.
Yeah, because I spoke to you. I bought another Legion shot from the Ashbournes. Ashbourne Varna is my favourite person. I love the orcs. And they invited me to the Orc Night of Worth on Saturday, which was an incredible experience. We'll get to that. I went to Dawn. I caught, I don't think I caught Thanate. I think I caught another one of House Mortaire, and basically asked if they were doing any rituals. They were doing a Whispers of the Black Gate that night. So I went to that, but before I went to that, I got grabbed by House Remise.
It's all happening.
Yeah, it's all fucking happening. I checked in with House Asterion and Rowan. It was very lovely to see Rowan, and Rowan then just went, "I'm buying you a drink at some point because I want that story." And I went, "Oh, okay, sure. Checked in with House de Sondres, happened to see that Claudia from House Remise was hanging around, who's also the Imperial Necromancer. Like, what?
Nice.
Honestly, every story I've heard from Claudia has been incredible and punctuated with little cacklings, and I'm just like, this is what I want.
Top tier.
So I basically went to ask about House Remise, and then they had a tiny little apprentice who brought their own skull, and I love that. I really hope there's some photos. I'm sure there are. I think I've seen them.
So
but
cute.
It was so cute. But basically, I got to speak to Enchantress Armand Remise, who looked at me as though they'd been given a present. You know how the ex-Archmage of Winter looked at you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know.
I sat in Wise Guys after getting this wonderful Earl a drink, and we were talking about winter magic, and we were talking about Dawn, and talking about all this stuff, and they were just looking at me with this interest, this intrigue. And if you've never seen that on a Draugier's face, run. It's terrifying, but I loved it at the same time. And they were like, oh, does anyone have a magic item I can borrow? It can be anything, just whatever. I want to see how this young magician does magic. And I just went, I hadn't thought about that. Oh no. And I sort of opened my eyes after, and I looked to the side at Enchantress Remise, and they were just so intrigued, just staring. And I was like, this has got to be
the kind of look that
right?
makes you go, oh no, I need to run, but also, yes.
Yeah, I think for Cadwgan it was, maybe I should run. But what if they tell me more about winter? What if I get to know
Alex,
things?
it's like, I know some top quality role players coming my way right now.
I know it's coming. Lay it on me. And they basically were like, I have met a lot of people in Dawn who are very tedious. You are not. And I just went, thank you. Obviously, as Cadwgan, I had to be like, thank you. Like, I try. And just internally, I'm going, I'm very excited. This is great. Got up to the Reggio, watched the Whispers. House Mortaire, you guys. Incredible. Like, chills, legitimate chills, as I'm watching them do a Whispers Through the Black Gate for 3 winter markers. It was just, and like Cad and I had had a revelation at the same time, but it was 2 very different ones.
I'd been at Songs and Stories for a bit. Like, I was at Songs and Stories from the beginning, and like by the time you got there, like, you know, you've been sat on those benches for a while. My bum was going a bit numb.
Yep.
I was like, I want to do some nighttime wanderings, and I want some booze. So you turned up, and I was like, excellent timing. Let's go.
I was wandering around the outside of the circle, going, "Where is she?" And then I caught you on the other side, and I was like, "Oh, thank God!" But I can't exactly wave. I was like, "That feels rude."
I feel like you could have, but I was like right in the middle.
Yeah, you were in and amongst. But we met up. We got you a drink at the Drunken Goose. Got all Drunken Goose. Love the Drunken Goose.
Oh yes, I had a 6 on the Bay of Catazar.
Yep.
It was a good time.
I love renaming
cocktails. I can see you laughing, Luce. It was the spring special. It was really good.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, do you know what else you missed because it was spring and you weren't there? The new Navarre yelling. Every time someone said it's spring, everyone went, it's spring!
Liken it to screaming, it's Christmas, except in spring and every 5 minutes.
And bearing in mind, it's like 25, 26 degrees. It's like, it's not spring.
We're all melting, tattoos coming off.
Yeah. I made a butterfly.
You!
Aw. Hell yeah.
Yeah, Navarre is so loud that you can hear them from the out of character area. Like, I could tell they were yelling, it's spring.
That is why the orcs asked them very politely to be quiet during the Night of Worth.
Oh, we missed that drama at Songs at Standing, no? The guy who came in and threatened to poison loads of people.
Oh yeah,
the guy wasn't threatening. The guy came in with a message from someone else.
The letters.
He was just a messenger.
I forgot the letters. Yeah. Okay, so
he basically was threatening to poison loads of people at Songs and Stories.
There was another one. Well, not there was another one, but wasn't there two? There was the one where it was
Yeah, there's
the role play of people might be putting stuff in drinks, which
Yeah.
I equated to. There's going to be a couple refs at Songs and Stories who, the second you take a drink out of your drink that no one's touched, will just hand you a card. Because I said this to someone and they just went, and I went, no, I think like OC, I think it's just a ref. Don't worry, like you're not gonna get spiked.
Yeah, not like yeah.
Nothing
It
dangerous
is a
was
thing,
going to happen.
like they talk about it at the apothecaries thing. Like, basically, don't spike people
Yeah.
when you're poisoning them.
When you're poisoning them, just sort of walk past and go, here's a card, and walk away, kind of thing.
Yeah, I think you have to get close enough to them for the ref to go, okay, you could have.
Yeah, you have to do the role play
something in their
without
drink.
actually like.
Yeah.
Without causing harm, pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much. So, Maeve, what were you doing while we were off gallivanting at Empire? A cool story for where you were?
Was I at the festival? I was at Parklife.
Yes, that's where you were, yes.
I was at Parklife for the weekend in Manchester.
I actually had a conversation with someone, like, in character, where I was talking about the fact that you weren't there. I think it was with Hypatia. I was like, yeah, she's not here. She's gone to a park where there's lots of bards all in the same place, and they all played lots of songs.
That's where I was.
Which they got to the point they were like, oh, where you like load lots of things down. I was like, no, not that one, where you like live your life in a park. So we had that whole conversation in character.
Yeah, it was really good. It was very warm. There was some thunderstorming where they had to shut down everything for like.
Was that Sunday night?
10 minutes. It was like more like Sunday afternoon.
Evening. Oh yeah, that was as we were leaving. We were sat in standstill traffic on a motorway somewhere, M40 maybe. We were sat in standstill traffic on a motorway, and the heavens just opened and it started thundering.
Yeah, but then it was fine. Went into a bit of a rave, because Dan and Samara, they're not. None of us are very. We're not. None of us are someone who'd probably go to a rave.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't like a proper rave, but it was in this tent. It was very intense, but and like so basically, so the edge was grass.
Yeah.
And then when you got further into the middle, it was mud. It was like a bog where people had been jumping up and down. And then when you got like further into the middle, it had compacted again back into solid ground.
Because people had jumped up and down there that much.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was crazy. But yeah, it was a good time.
We're just talking about Parklife. Don't mind us.
Oh no, we don't.
You've got some maybe nice bits in there. I don't know. We talked about Parklife. We also talked about how I was talking about Parklife in character with Hypatia.
Oh yeah. But yeah, so we were like, where can we go for good drinks? Where else but Varushka?
I wanted to go. Yeah, where did I want to go? Somewhere else. I wanted to go to the League, I think, but Noah was open in the League because it was like 11 o'clock at this point.
Yeah. Well, the League and the Marches are past Varushka. Like, you have to go through Varushka to get to the League and the Marches, unless you go up and around. So it was kind of like a...
No, because we went through the League to get to Varushka.
Did we go all the way up and then down?
Yeah, I think we went to the top and then across, down into the League, and then along to Varushka.
Yeah, that would make sense. Because you guys went to the gin bar. You got yourselves some gin.
It was cocktails, actually.
It was just very heavy. I just remember tasting gin.
It was very strong. It was very good. It was like a whole experience, though. I had like a martini, and we were like using actual glasses, and I was like, we have tankards, so Hypatia used her tankard. But he was like, for me, he was like, no, you have to have a martini glass. I was like, I'm not complaining.
That's
he was like shaking them all up himself. It was incredible. And they had ice. I was like, how do you have ice in this heat?
Yes, we sat around the Varushkan hearth fire.
Yeah, there was a skull in it.
As normal, that seems very Varushkan.
I think Varushkan hearth magic is really interesting, though.
I love Varushka. I love it. if Cadwgan dies, I do not plan for him to die because I know for a fact Zoe will watch this and they'll get very angry at me. But if Cadwgan dies, I'm either going to the League or Verushka, and nothing can stop me.
Nothing's gonna stop us.
I'm very intrigued by the League.
Intrigued in
I
the
think
League.
I think being in the marches would be fun though.
I was say if I die, I feel like I'd go to the marches, but I just don't know.
The marches so much. We spent like 3 hours in the marches on Saturday. I'll get to that.
No, not me.
Friday.
When
no,
he says
me
we,
and
does not mean
Rowan.
me.
Sorry, Cadwgan and Rowan, me and Zoe. But we had our drinks, and as we were having our drinks, comes around us in this beautiful red coat with the skull of her, I want to say enemies, but
teeth.
considering
Wasn't it teeth?
No, the mug she had was a skull.
Oh, with the skull.
I want to say skull of her enemy, but
I feel like she got interrupted mid-explaining the teeth, and I'm still confused because she was talking about how she was cursed so that everyone she loved died, and was talking about like this is why she wears the necklace of teeth. I'm like, are they the teeth of people who've loved you?
Can I just say that our introduction to this wonderful human being was them looking at someone on the bench across from us, or like next to us, kind of perpendicular, going something about a review, and then you've tagged me as a monster fucker, and I was like, what?
Yes, the lady doing the smut reviews.
The bosun is who we met. One of 3 people, I believe, who has nautical titles who write smut.
I will say, like, I had no smut interactions at E1. They were everywhere at E2.
Everywhere, you say. I bought smut.
I nearly bought smut on Saturday, but I didn't have any money, and they weren't taking trade for herbs.
It was cheap. But we sat there talking, and we're just sort of like, oh, it's clearly, and if you hadn't had something to drink, you clearly play the part so well, because, like, the energy was beautiful. They're just explaining, like, I'm cursed so that everyone I say I love dies the next day, and I have my necklace of teeth, and they're drinking, and they're talking about the fact that, they smutify tales of tragic love. And I'm just like, if you want tragic love, you gotta go to Dawn, and they just went, I would love to go to Dawn. I just went, oh, what have I done? Oh, no.
Yeah, it was kind of like it was amazing, but it was also kind of sad because she was like, I can't have a happy ending, so I'm not gonna write one.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I remember being sat there listening to her talk, listening to her explain her smutty reasonings, blah blah blah, and I felt something brush my arm, and I look and I'm thinking, oh, it's a trim on her coat, because Verushka has amazing coats. They're gorgeous. And I just went...
Not in that heat, they didn't.
Oh, well, a couple people did, but, like, late at night kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I just went, oh, I'm sorry, I've caught... And then I looked at it, and it was a whip. And then she just goes, oh, my whip! And I just went... internally going, what? She's going, I think it's hallowed? It's either hallowed or enchanted, or something like that. And I think it was something about submitting to authority. And I don't know how much you all know about Cambians, but our boon is that if we are subjected to something that makes us submit to authority, we instead become very stubborn, and we basically tell people to go fuck off. So I'm like, please don't hit me with that. That was my first interaction with a magic item that event. Not the last. Certainly not the weirdest. I've not told you about Melvin, have I?
Melvin? I know, I do remember Melvin.
I don't know Melvin.
Oh yeah. So we had a very nice drink. We directed a fellow Navari back to Navarre, considering we weren't going to Navarre, we were going to bed.
Yeah.
It was very nice. It was very wonderful. Yeah. Saturday. Up bright and early. And I'm trying to...
Yeah, but like, I think it's worth saying at this point that, bearing in mind, we didn't make it past 10:30 on E1.
Yeah.
We made it to time out on Friday.
On Saturday, I was out until 3 a.m.
Yeah.
Not getting drunk.
I was not out that long, but I did make it to time out.
So. Saturday of Eve.
Saturday.
Did we both immediately go to the hospital?
Yeah, we wanted to see everyone going out.
Yes. Oh yeah, because I knew our egregore was going to be there. So the
And I
Navari
discovered
were
I have to
going out.
take herbs to the Navarre people. I was like, oh yeah, I
Yes.
didn't
You have
know
to
that.
deliver
That's a
your
good job I'm here.
herbs.
Yeah, I have to do my hospital repness.
So we were hanging out in the hospital. I believe I hung out with Keris, Marcher Lady, with her antlers and her hat.
Oh yes, Karis. Yes.
I always get worried I'm gonna pronounce it wrong.
It's because there's a Karis and a Kellen. I was like, and they're both marchers.
So I hung out with Hypatia and Keris and you a little bit, but then you were busy doing hospital things. I'm like, that's fair. This is your game. I'm a visitor. Watching everyone go out, which was great, and then I saw our egregore leaving, like after obviously everyone had gone through, because you got to use an egregore to transport a whole nation, kind of thing. So on skirmishes you can use a magician, but for battles you need the egregores of those nations.
Is that when I met Rowan, or did I meet Rowan on Sunday?
Rowan wasn't with me when I spoke to the Navari egregore. You might have met them Sunday when I was girding in a really bad cobbled together gird, which I think was hilarious.
The roleplay was hilarious too. It was just good times all around.
It was so Cadwgan to just go, I'll just change my shirt, I guess. Maybe I just won't put on my scarf. But I caught up with our egregore. I need everyone to know this, because I'm not terrible. As you've seen from many photos, Cadwgan has labyrinth marks there, because that's usually the best place for me to put them. I don't touch that bit of my face, it stays. Despite setting it, despite keeping my face out of the sun is over to my right. Avery, our egregore, is also to our right. I have sweat and labyrinth mark going into my right eye, so I can't see. And I just went, do you happen to have seen our egregore? Just sort of squinting. And they just went, yeah, I know him pretty well. And I just went, oh my fucking god. I just pretty much just went, by the fucking virtues, just really angry at myself. And they just went, oh no, they were having a laugh, and they just went, no, what's up? Like, you know, we were having a chat. And I was chatting to them about a very big decision for Cadwgan, which is leaving home. Not being Navari anymore. And so we had a very long chat about that.
But not very surprising.
Yeah. I made someone who shouldn't be in Navarre and then went, what if I made him Navarre? But
I think I could have told you after together. Friday on E1. Sorry, you said what you were gonna say.
I was just like, I think it's because we all wanted to be together.
Yeah.
Which makes sense. We basically forced you into Navarre.
To be fair, on paper, Cadwgan is very Navari. He's a very driven man who wants to complete this oath. He takes his oaths very seriously and he's very loyal. And he has the practicality of a Navarre. In play, I think the moment that really, really started me on that tumbling was when we were walking out of Navarre in E1 on Friday, just going for a wander. And I just went, where's your sense of adventure, Lily? And I just went, oh no. I've not made a Navari, have I?
I could have told you. Yeah, I could have told you by the end of Friday.
I think it's still good to have started in Navarre.
Yeah. Hey, it's given you loads of game.
It has. So we were basically walking all the way up to Navarre again, and we were having a chat about it, and they were basically just going, if your path leads you away from Navarre, that is okay. We will welcome you back if your steps lead you back. Like, it was very loving and very caring, and I was like, don't make me emotional, Avery. I'm sweating already.
Navarre's whole thing is like wanting people to find their place in the Great Dance, and if that place is not in Navarre, then it's not in Navarre.
Oh my goodness, the Great Dance. That just reminds me of the Magnus Archives.
Don't.
Does that mean does anyone else
to me? To it? How dare you?
That. Sorry.
It's okay. I just had a war flashback.
Same.
But as we're walking, and basically Avery just goes, just when you're doing your magic, just sprinkle a little blood in or it just won't work. In that kind of idea of every nation thinks their way to do magic is the only way it works. So I was just like, oh, that's fun, shucks. And the person who was walking with us, I believe they originally came from Varushka. think, I could be wrong, I was dying from the heat by that point.
And
they just went for the journey and offered me this little flower. And I took it and I went, thank you. And like, I had this really sweet moment. And I just went, I'm going to go to where I could be home. And I left and went to Dawn. And I was hanging out near Rowan for a bit, I think. And it's the Dornish Festival of Flowers, which is you give people flowers and they have to work out what it means. I have quite a few little trinkets and odds and ends from the Festival of Flowers. This one's from Taliesin, and I loved it. It's very good. But I got given it, and I remember tucking it sort of like where all my lacing is on my shirt, and I was sat in Wise Guys chatting with Killian Mortair, who is incredible, ambition priest Cambion, one of the many Cambion who went, I've had my horn since birth. I don't know what you're talking about, man. And I'm just like, but did they hurt? Did you get headaches? So I was having a chat with them, and I remember looking down and not seeing the flower anymore. And in a way, that was so symbolic of they gave me this flower to get me to Dawn, and I'm in Dawn, so it doesn't serve a purpose anymore. And I was like, oh, that's so symbolic. Oh, ow. Alex from the editing room here. Sorry about the jump between then and E2 sort of midway through Saturday. Had to cut some things out. Don't mind that. Enjoy the rest of the video. We left. We collected some flowers. We went to the marches for a drink and stayed there for 2 hours, and at least 4 people went looking for Rowan at the Asterian camp.
I came looking for you.
Sorry,
I got surprised the League.
You ended
and
up
I got
in the
distracted.
Marches.
I went back to the bar.
Past the bar that me and Rowan were sat in, and I just went, oh, that's Lilywyn.
But I was with someone at that point. Like, I'd already been distracted. It was too late.
Yep, you both walked past, and I just went, oh, that's Lilywyn. Honestly, the
That was quite a nice circle, though. Like, that came round. I'll tell you in a minute. You finish.
Yeah, we sat there for a couple hours talking. Cadwgan gave a story of true love. So he gave his true love story that he promised Rowan because they bought him a drink. This unfortunately has probably led to what may end up being a wager, which is I think they just want to try and make Cadwgan blush because he was so quick. I can't take credit for it. He was just quick with his quips, and I was like, oh no. I feel like I've
You could take a little bit of credit there.
Yeah, a little bit. But when it was so hot, I was like, I'm letting him take over. I can't. I've got no conscious thought. So what was your distraction?
So, as I have already mentioned, it was very quiet in the hospital after the big battle, which is very strange. So I only healed one person, who was actually the first person I've ever healed. Hospital rep for Navarre, everyone.
I healed someone before you did.
Yep.
And I'm a mage.
Hey, I did a lot of watching other people heal people.
You
okay?
did. You learned how to do it the proper way. I stuffed paper in a man's wounds and went, there you go.
Yeah. So someone came in. They were like, I was just reading messages and I got by a pole arm, like in the arm. I was like, okay, we'll fix you up. So I fixed them up, and then because it was one of those where like you to restore hit points, they then have to go sit and rest for 10 minutes. Yeah. And I was like, so go sit down, have some water, come back in 10 minutes and give me the bandage, thanks.
Return your bandages.
Return your bandages. We need them. Yeah, so they came back with the bandage, which I was like, yay, first bandage returned. And I was like, watch out, don't go getting hit by any more pole arms now. So we were like, ha 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 ha, and then they went off. And then I passed them later coming through the marches when I was looking for you. I was like, oh, hello. Managed to stay out of the way of any more pole arms. And then they were telling me, it was actually their first time at Empire, they're from the Brass Coast. And they were telling me about how they're writing like a guide, a beginner's guide to Anvil on drinking in every nation. Bearing in mind, this person has decided to like not drink alcohol for a year, which they were like, this is fine.
You can be objective about it at that point, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Be like, here is a good place.
Yeah, so they were talking about like, you know, how some things are the same in every nation. I was like, oh, have you been to Navarre yet? And they were like, no. I was like, well, you should come to the Drunken Goose. and
And get
we'll just chill
and
out at
not
the Drunken
literally
Goose.
drink, but have some water.
Yeah, exactly. They actually have soft drinks, which I did not know. Now I do.
Nice.
Yeah. So we went to the Goose, chilled out in the Goose for a bit. Someone else was there recharging their mana because you can recharge your personal mana in the Goose.
Auras are just.
So we were having a bit of a chat all together, and then I went off wandering.
Mm-hmm.
I went to go to another board meeting or find Gwaine or something. I don't know. Spent a lot of time trying to. Thank you, Gwaine, for taking me under your wing this event. I really feel like I have a friend now.
Under your wing.
What?
That's bad. I'm so sorry, Gwaine. I've never met you. That's a very bad pun on your name. Oh.
Yeah, I really appreciate it. A lot of times when I was just like sat chilling by myself, you like came over and started talking to me like, "Are you okay? Got away?" And I was like, "I really appreciate that." I didn't know what sort of time that was, but we did kind of go chasing after a boggart that was supposedly at the Goose, but it was gone by the time we got there. It was very sad. I remembered something else I did.
Tell me.
There was a mercenary group from Navarre going out to fight with the orcs on Sunday.
Oh,
they were like, we need some herbs. So me and the orc hospital rep teamed up to get them some herbs. Here's a red hand.
Yes, red hand Ican.
Ican, yeah. Yeah.
Ican or Ikis? I think it's Ikis.
I think it's Ikis. Yeah.
Brother to Ican, that's why.
So yeah, I went to find them. They were actually having their national meeting at the time, another orc came over it's just so you know, it's like considered quite rude to trade during our national meeting. And Ikis was like, no, it's okay. This is like a national gift. Like,
this is for us on the battlefield. This is
Yeah. So we basically went 50-50. I got half the herds from Gwaine, we got half the herds from the orcs. Well, it was more like Gwaine was very generous. It was more like 70-30 because we went to Navarre first.
Hello, Phoebe. Are you here to talk about
stream.
Empire, Phoebe? We have been blessed.
Don't go out the window.
Yeah, don't go out the window. We have been blessed. Meow.
Need to go down there so I can shut the window.
We have been blessed.
Blessed. Yes.
Would you be an orc, Phoebe? Is that it?
Oh yeah, and I got the name of the mercenary group, and they were like, "Oh, we're so grateful. If you like, come and share our fire later, yada yada yada." Which will lead into why I was wandering around Navarre a bit lost later.
So, anything you're excited about doing next time?
I'm excited. You know what I'm excited for? I'm excited for the fact that you guys will have like made friends, and I can leech off the friendships you've made and not actually have to make any of my own. That's what I'm excited for.
I think you're overestimating my friendships, but sure.
I mean, listen,
acquaintances.
You'll have friends. It's okay.
I'm already leeching off Cads. I'm leeching off Cads' friends.
You're leeching off. But listen, I'm sure Hypatia and Carson. Listen, reach out to Cyril and just be like, "I see mail," and I'm fairly certain they would go, "Yes."
Hey, we're hospital pals now.
Exactly.
We were on the same bench on Saturday.
Besties.
For the one person I healed.
I'm excited for more tiny daggers. I'm excited to actually do some artisan-y stuff. And I'm excited
at the end of Songs and Stories.
That's it. I'm excited to get to the end of Songs and Stories, and I also want to go to
Emotions.
Emotions. I was like, what?
Senate Dance Club.
Bust a move.
Cut some shapes.
Triangle. Circle.
Oh. Perfect. See, that's exactly
trapezium. Maybe kind of. Anyway, I'm gonna go now.
Yeah, that's fair. So the night of Worth, I bought another Legion shot, but I was hanging out with on the bench next to Ashbourne Vanna, and I chatted to another one of the Ashbournes and quite a few of the Ashbournes actually.
The wizards came first before I left.
Yes. So you were hanging out with me as we were waiting for people to kind of settle. So into the circle as everyone's like getting settled and getting ready for the Night of Worth, which is this huge, sacred, spiritual thing for the orcs. As they're getting ready, the Archmage of Summer, Brother Luke, who I spoke to on Sunday, thank you so much. I will probably bother you again at E3. No apologies. comes in with a Serrani wizard. I'm going to keep what they said to myself to avoid... Metagaming is such a weird term to use for LARP, but to keep it fresh for the field. But they came in...
because then people will use it as in-character knowledge when it's not in-character knowledge.
As much as I trust my small audience, I think it's still good to keep a little mystery, you know? A little mystery for, like, ongoing things.
Safe to say, they got a bit angry.
The orcs were not happy.
No.
Grud the Unshackled, the older Grud specifically, declared war. Apparently this is normal. Apparently it is not a summit if Grud has not declared war on 4 different nations. Interesting. So Brother Luke basically said, this is all we know. We are working to find more information. We wanted to tell you first. The orcs were very angry. Ashbourne Varna basically went, I don't know if my anger outweighs the aura I have above my bar. So I read the aura, and it was one of the ones where it's like, you feel just chill, and like you can have a good time. And they'd like pulled out a sword and everything. And I was like, there was already some kind of weird seance fight thing happening in this tent nearby, and I was just like, oh no, please don't start
This
fighting.
was pretty much the point where I was like, I can't!
Have fun! And I just went, ah. But the Night of Worth, some of the things they presented were incredible. Like, there was a Varushkan dinner bell. Again, I'm not going to give any of the stories, because this isn't my place. A staff, like a walking stick. I'm sure it was an axe, but it did look like a shovel for a while. That was not the original item they were going to present, but it came to their attention. Chains from the parents, like it was honestly incredible. I didn't stick around till the end. I basically had to leave after a while because I was like, I'm getting real warm. I need to move my legs. And I go into Dawn. I'm sat with House de Sondres. And one of House Remise comes over with a skull. And they're giving its little skull cap a little pet. And they're sort of leaning around because Earl Lupo of House de Sondres was asking me about Dawn. Basically just going, any thought on what house you'd want to join? Any thought on who you'd ask for your test of metal? And I was like, thinking maybe Mortaire, maybe Remise, you know, because they are death and winter, and that is something Cadwgan's really interested in. And etc, etc. And then Jacques comes over of House Remise. And is like, I hear someone said my house's name. And I was like, oh, hello. Hello, sir. This is gonna go well. And he just goes, would you like to pet Melvin? And I went, sure. So I reach out to... So Melvin's like a LARP-safe skull. So the skull is really squishy. So I just run my hand
Is this so you can throw the skull?
Yes.
I love it.
It's so good. So I just gently pet Melvin's skull cap, I guess. And then I hope you know how... Jacques, if you're watching this, I hope you know how fucking terrified I was when you went from at your, you know, not full height, but leaning against this pole, sort of vaguely over me, to ducking down and getting within a few inches of my face, and just turning the skull over and offering me a ribbon to read, and just going, if you'd like to have a read of this here. Do you know how terrifying that is when it happens in, like, barely a split second? So the skull gave
I imagine
me
that's the point.
a little roleplay effect, and I had to think about how Cadwgan was going to react to... it was very death-focused, so understandable. After that, after meeting Melvin, I went past to the drug party. And I happened to see Rowan and Killian and all that, and I was just like, oh, I'll go say hello, especially after I just chatted to the egregore, you know? Why not? Now's a good time. So I sort of gently put my hand on their shoulder, and they didn't startle, they just sort of leaned back on me, and I was like, hello. And they were just like, I am high off my tits right now. And I was like... And they just went, I just saw my past deaths. And I was like, what? You did what? And they go, you know, Earl Morrigan had like 50 of them. I'm just like, what?
Of course she did.
What the
Of course
hell
she
am
did.
I listening to?
Nobody's that fabulous without having passed through the labyrinth 50 times.
You gotta do it a couple times to get it right. You gotta have like that perfect pre-labyrinth hair, you know? I just was like, that's nice, Rowan. That's just nod and agree, you're off your tits kind of vibe. And this was when you were at Senate Motions. Because me, Tal, and Hypatia had gone celebrating my chat with the egregore, and then I came back and that was Melvin and the drug party. Oh, you
I did
hung
some
out
chilling out in
with
Nevarthas.
the Blackthorns?
Thornfangs.
Thornfangs.
I can't remember the name of the mercenary group who I was looking for, but they were doing some kind of archery lesson. So I went to sit with the Thornfangs instead, because the person who was in the chat in the goose who came to charge upon manor, I saw them walking past with like carrying 6 things of food, and well, not 6 things, but they were carrying food and 2 drinks, and I was like, do you want some help?
Do you want a hand?
Yeah, so I lent a hand and I sat with the Thornfangs for a bit. So thank you everyone in Thornfang for offering me blankets and food, which I did not take, but also letting me sit in one of your chairs for like 2 hours while most of your people sat on the floor. I did offer to move, but thank you anyway.
So that's what you were doing while I
was just chilling in the bar.
And kind of got drunk. Because we met.
I caught the end of Cheese and Vine, actually. Ooh. I did catch the end of Cheese and Vine.
Hell yeah.
I had a baby with very, very
good cheese. A perfect cheese.
Yeah. Yeah, and then I went to Senate Motions.
Then you went to Senate Motions, because I was going to come with you, but I was so hyped on being accepted that I basically went, you enjoy yourself, me, Tal, and Hypatia are going to drink. I did not get drunk.
We're celebrating, I'll tell you about it later, but I was like, oh, he's into Don.
Not officially. I've been given my test.
Yeah.
But I've been accepted, I just haven't had the bond made, I think, is the vibe, is like kind of, you can try. Here is your test that we think is possible for you. When you do it, bonded kind of thing. And I've got a glow up in mine, so, because you did Senate Motions, and I basically went, I'm not sure if I want to learn to dance when I'm, like, hyped, Then I found Rowan, who was high off their tits, and then I basically almost quietly said to them, I've had some good news, I chatted to your egregore, and they turned around, like, whipped around at me, and were like, what did they say? And I just went, I'll tell you when you're less high. Sort of was like, I'll tell you when you can remember this. I have every faith they remembered all of it. And then I just went, I also chatted with a skull called Melvin. Gave you some really profound information, about death and how quick it comes, and
as
vague
Melvin
implication about my death, or Cadwgan's death, and the switch from I'm just having a great time to where is that skull? They were ready to drop kick a skull.
Yeah, was that past time out?
That was way past time out.
I was gonna say Senate Motions ended at 25-1.
I didn't know that. I didn't really know what time it was, admittedly.
Yeah, fair enough.
Like, I wasn't drunk, I was just having a good time, and I didn't want to check my watch. I was like, as long as it's not 6 a.m, I'm gonna be okay. Like,
I checked it to be like, what time is it? Will I be able to find Alex? Probably not. I'm going back to Navarre.
So yeah, we stood there for, like, most of... That was when I disclosed my plan of girding as a Dornish person, which was suggested to me by Thanate of House Mortaire, who is an absolutely incredible, incredible person. I love him so much. And they were explaining girding to me how it works in Dorne, and they just went, does your necklace have a clasp because of Cadwgan's bird necklace? And I just went, yes. And they just handed me this ring and just went, wear this so I know it's you, because they're magically compelled to not recognize you if you're actively girding as something else. Which was the birth of Lord Cambion.
Ah, Lord Cambion.
Lord Cambion. So, tell me about the end of Songs and Stories before we get into Sunday.
Okay, yeah. Well, Senate Motions as well.
And Senate Motions. Tell me everything about Senate Motions.
Yeah, so I had a great time. Me and this girl from the league. Basically, we swapped partners, but I started with her, and like enough people left midway through, and we basically went all the way around, and I danced with her again. Is it Kikibeo, is that how you say it?
Kikabea, yes.
Had not showed up.
I hope she got a refund.
I think she was out for it. She was going back to
Either
get
in coin
one.
or blood, you know? Both.
Yeah. But yeah,
Tell
we had a
us,
great
comment.
time.
Tell us if you got a refund. We want to know.
Tell us. I want to know what happened.
email Lilywyn and then I'll get told.
So yeah, we had a good time. It was quite a funny because we were doing the tango, so there was lots of like we did a bit which was very leggy, which like was supposed to like I was following, she was leading because she'd done Senate motions once before, so I was like, right, that's cool. She was like, I'll take the lead, I can do that. That's the only bit I can remember how to do. I was like, cool, that's good. I'll follow. So I had to like basically like wrap my leg around hers, but we were both wearing skirts.
Oh, the layer
like,
problem.
I don't think this is going so well. It's very much a case of I'll just like
sort of hook.
Go as far as I can until my skirt and your skirt get stuck, basically.
See what happens.
Yeah. But yeah, I danced with quite a few people. It was really nice. And the guy running the class, he was amazing. He like clearly knows his stuff.
Yep.
It was a very good time. 10 out of 10 would recommend.
Listen, leaguish teacher, man.
It was very weird. Like I've done quite a bit of dancing in my time, but never like as a pair. And not in walking boots. Very much used to delicate ballet shoe vibes, and this was like I'm in walking boots.
This is a very strange feeling.
Yes, it was very bizarre. There was lots of like changing your weight and stuff. So me and the girl from the league, when we were like to begin with, we were like, right, let's rise onto our toes and then we'll shift our weight onto one side. But I was really struggling in my boots.
Yeah, understandable.
Also,
you're in walking boots.
Also because I was dehydrated and I couldn't see right by this point because my contact lenses were like going fuzzy. I was like, I hope when I take these out, I can see.
So we had to take their contacts out after a while, like before they did the drugs.
Yeah, I was struggling to see. Yep. It was a good time.
Yeah, Senate motions.
Yeah, I went back to the end of Songs and Stories, which was very like it feels like a community anyway, but it's like even more like a community. It's like getting to the end of a school dance, you know, or like at uni. At my college, they would always play Angels, and I was Jon Snow College, so we'd sing I'm Loving Jon Snow instead. It felt a bit like that, but medieval vibes. Like, we all got daggers out and were, like, singing and, like, stabbing the air with our daggers for the second to last song. And then they played one last song, and we, like, huddled up in little groups and swayed.
Oh,
good time.
That's so good.
Just very Navarre.
Very, very Navarre. I love
very Navarre.
I am sad that the Navarre don't fit me, but I'm happy I found a place that works. But I do still absolutely adore the Navarre. Nothing will change my love for them.
As you should.
As I should, okay.
You're two best friends, and we are only ever allowed to be our best friends.
That's a good point. Oh, I'm so...
Nobody can ever replace us.
You're my two Navarre best friends, okay? Because I think Rowan might get angry.
Yeah, I don't want Rowan to get angry at me, actually. I'm sorry, Rowan!
Rowan is lovely. Well, I know they can fight, but they wouldn't fight you. They love too much.
They told me my eyes were mesmerizing. In my contact suit. I was like, thank you. Like, nobody, like, it made me feel, because, like, it's not the kind of thing you normally remark on, like, little linear trapping, but I was like, you noticed.
That's just what they're like. So if I'm going to be around them, get used to it. That's
quite
the only
easily.
thing I can do. That's the only thing I can say is just get used to it.
But I think, yeah, receiving compliments is lovely.
It is. It very much is.
Sunday.
I was fortunate enough to not have to put on all of my tattoos because Cadwgan had used a concealing balm for his girding. Because I really didn't want to put all that makeup on. I still did.
Yeah, I have discovered that nose tattoos plus sunglasses equals the nose tattoo will rub off.
Oh, I caught a bit of like one of mine, and I was like, "It's done. I don't care." My nose.
Oddly enough, mine's only on one side. Is my face wonky? I don't know.
Is my face wonky?
Well, it's because it's on my cheek, but my sunglasses touch my cheek. But it was only on one side. My face wonky? Don't know.
That's weird. But yeah, so I had a tiny little bit of his usual tattoo under his eye because I think he was very reluctant to cover that. he tried covering up, no, I think he did cover up the labyrinth marks on his eyebrows, but it came through on his cheek in a kind of you can't get rid of me way. So I kept the one on his eye. And so didn't have the vest. It was just plain shirt, like scarf over the neck that I could put over my head, belt.
Yeah,
kind
I
of
went for 2 out of 4 layers on
very chill.
on Sunday.
Had basically this other leather cord necklace I have that broke a little bit. I put the ring on there, but I kept his bird skull necklace in one of my pouches because I was like, it's Cad, he's not gonna leave that alone. He also didn't have his headband. I'm fairly
Hairband?
certain. Yeah.
No, I don't think you did.
Yeah, because it's very distinct. So he
And you were really
basically-
hot.
yes. Basically, the joke was that Cadwgan had told Lilywyn kind of his plan as they were in Out of Annabel, and he was like, "Can you like stay with me a little bit? If I'm Lord Cammon, do you mind if I jokingly
House Beyond.
like of House Beyond, good old Cam Beyond, if I like use you as a little bit of a retainer for like 2 seconds?"
I was
paid you in
happy with this.
herbs.
I was like, yes.
The joke, the reason he's Cammon Beyond is because I was like, Cadwgan can't come up with names. He's gonna come up with something stupid. He's gonna go, oh, my name's Cam of Beyond. Cam Beyond. Yep. Mhm.
Yeah.
He's really bad at coming up with names. So he basically we went to Dawn. We saw the marchers coming in. There was a lot of drama with the marchers this event. And basically going, we're gonna help
not
you.
at this point. No, this was good times.
This one was. Because they decided to fight with them.
Yeah.
So they did like they came marching in, they were just like pledging their swords to help their kinsmen, blah blah blah. And then
Basically, Dawn were going to reclaim the barons. It was quite a big deal.
Dawn were going to reclaim the barons. Earl Lupo of House Dissandras has this huge battle standard that had a favour from every single house on it. And he wasn't fighting, but he was going to be on the field. So he was in, like, he had, like, this proper huge, it was incredible. There's so many good photos, I'll have to put some up. But...
there's one of me from this point too, in my 2 layers, with my box.
There's an incredible one of you with Garrett in the background. So I remember paying you in herbs, and then I followed everyone. We followed everyone down to go to the hospital, to watch everyone go
You
in.
bonded a magic item.
Yeah, I unbonded. No, I bonded. Not
Did you
unbonded. No,
You bonded.
I unbonded because they needed to bond something else to them.
Right. I can't remember.
Basically, they needed to unbond something from Godric's armor in order to put a different enchantment on it that they already had, and they could bond to it. So I got to bond something by just going,
Woo!
yep, I'm doing the bonding and I have the mana. There you go.
I got to have a bit of fun being like, oh, I don't think you've met my friend yet. This is Lord Alan.
Rowan did that too, and I was like, how dare you all? Basically, we were joking around a bit. Cadwgan was very uncomfortable, but he was trying his best to be Dornish. As much as he can't come up with names, he came up with a whole backstory. And I think that's hilarious. There are some good photos of Lord Cammon in the background of people from Sunday. So we went up to the hospital to watch everyone go, which is when I met up with Rowan again, and basically was just sort of stood around watching them go, and then just sort of caught their eye and was just like, didn't know what to say, because Cadwgan, who doesn't understand girding very well, was going, this is Rowan, they know me, but then had to remember, magically, they are compelled to not know who I am. Oh no. And then I just sort of adjusted the necklace, and they just went, ah. And I said, I don't think we've met, sweet soul. And I was like, Lord Cammon of House Beyond. With this look on my face of pure, what? So they stood having a little chat, and they were just like, oh, I've not heard of House Beyond. And they just basically went, yeah, we didn't know if Anvil was worth it, really. That's why they sent me. And he was just like, I know, I'll just be mean. I'll just be slightly mean about Anvil. That's how I'll get through this. We chatted to Killian again. who gave us something very interesting to read that I still have in one of my many pouches. We caused some mischief, and then we walked all the way back through to Dawn, having a chat. They introduced me to someone from House Meliora, I believe. Who basically went, "Have you met my friend, Lord Cameron?" And I just kind of looked at them as though to say, "Good Lord, please
Is that the
stop."
house when someone got Druge poisoned?
Might have been. Because they were looking for
Rings a
a
bell.
Briar lover, I think. Or not a lover, a suitor. Specifically a suitor. Because I think they collect suitors in the way that
Interesting.
someone might hire multiple Kikabeos. I think. I could be wrong. And if I'm wrong, let me have my assumption.
Want a nemesis, but I'm just waiting for the right nemesis card to come up on the nemesis.
Just put it up. Put your own up.
Yeah, maybe. I want very like low stakes nemesis. I just want someone to be like
workplace rivals
across the field map.
Oh, that's so good.
I don't know, like I did joke, like, you know, enemies to lovers, 2 years slow burn. If under 6 feet, need not apply. Expect to have daggers held at your throat. But I don't know whether I'm up for that level of intensity.
You can always check in, you know.
Yeah, I think I'd like to start with a little petty, low stakes rivalry.
Yeah, just slightly annoyed at each other all the time.
Just trying to one up each other.
Oh yeah, perfect. I love that. I love that for you. Yes.
Like, oh, you've become the hospital rep? Okay, I'm gonna get on myself on the non-exec board.
We'll see who's in charge then.
Yeah.
Take that, bettering myself.
Or if they were like, oh yeah, I'm gonna join the coven. Oh, okay, I'm gonna be Archmage of Day.
The very idea of it's a rivalry, but you're actually like making each other better accidentally.
Yeah.
Literally. You know what? I'm gonna become the goddamn Archmage. What do you think about that? And then you're just going, well, I'm gonna be Archmage and Grand Master of an order. And you're just slowly accumulating more and more positive relationships with people by being angry at someone else.
Yeah.
Oh.
Maybe I'll put it on the board at E4.
Hell yeah. Why not?
Looking for petty rivalry.
Looking for petty rivalry that ultimately ends in us being better than we were.
Yeah, by trying to one-up each other into doing really good things.
Yeah. This is the good deed for the day.
Must send icy mail in between events with all the things you achieved.
Yes. Perfect. Correct. Love that. That's so good. Because I think Rowan was coming up at one point and I'd taken the ring off. And I basically had, like, just went, this is not going to take a second. Here, handed the ring back, and they were looking at me really confused, and I went, I don't need to gird in my nation. And they just went, and just grabbed me, and I was like, oh, hello. And they were wearing white, and my labyrinth marks are black, so I was sort of doing this. Like, I really don't want to get labyrinth mark on you.
Don't touch my face.
Well, they're covered in green paint because they're a Briar, so I was like, yeah, but I'm in dark clothes, you're fine. I was going towards camp, because I was like, I've got nothing else to do. Because this was right towards the end of the day, and I saw Brother Luke coming past, and I went, I'm so sorry, Brother Luke! And so they were like, can you walk and talk? As they're like holding food and drinks for themselves. And I'm just like, yeah, I can walk and talk, I'm Navari. So basically I was going, you know, what was that thing with the Serani wizards? Like, you know, could you elaborate a little more? So I got a little more info on that, which was fun. And then I basically went, you're one of our archmages, aren't you? And they were going, I am, you know, it was very lovely. And I just went, I've been tasked with doing this. Could you sort of advise me a little bit? Because I have no idea what I'm doing. And they just went, I will pose you some questions. What does this mean to you? And I just went, oh. So what did you get up to on the Sunday?
So, everyone came back from battle. Not many people needed the hospital. But then someone came into the hospital about, I don't know, 5-10 minutes later, just as I, like, before I got to the point where I was like, no one else is coming in now, I'm gonna go.
Yeah.
And was like, I've had reports that some people have been force-fed Druge poison and haven't come to the hospital. And everyone was like, great. And so, like, non-exec people were like, okay, hospital reps, if your nation went out to fight today, can you just go check? At which point someone said the name of someone in Dawn. Hypatia took off running.
Oh, yeah. Hypatia sprinted up, grabbed a map, and was just staring at it for a few minutes, and then ran away again.
Yeah. So I was like, well, not many Navarre went out, but I do know that group went out, that mercenary group. Was it might be Bracken?
Bracken Song?
Is that someone else? That might be someone else.
I think Bracken Song has the Draugr Vate.
I don't know. Maybe it was. I don't think it was actually.
Bracken Song.
I can't remember. Anyway, I went to find them, thinking it won't be any of them, but I'll just check. And then I'm in Navarre anyway. Yeah. Like I was heading back anyway. So I was like, I went up and I was like, hi, I'm sure it's not any of you, but we've had reports at the hospital that people have been force-fed Druge poison and they haven't been to the hospital, and I just wanted to check. And everyone just went, yeah, that was him.
I love that. I'm sure it wasn't any of you. Famous last words.
Yeah, famous last words. And I was like, okay. I was like, right, what happened? He was like, well, someone on the field told me they'd healed me. And I was like, with what? And I was like, I don't know. This all sounds a bit weird to me. Let's take you to the hospital just to check. And I don't like OC. I don't know what happened here because he still got the poison card. So I think
is there a
maybe
bit of confusion and
yeah, either he had been given an antidote, but it wasn't really clear, or like the refs just lost track. Because it's the kind of poison that has a timer on it.
Oh, it's one of the. Oh yeah.
Like I went to the hospital and they were like, "How long ago since you were given it?" He was like, "About 20 minutes," and they were like trying to figure out what it was. By the time they figured it out, they were like, "Yeah, you've got 5 minutes to live. Drink this." I was like, "Okay."
You got 5 minutes to live. You only got 5 minutes to save the world.
That was a good time. We did get a ref in. The ref was also very confused, but was like, "It's fine. You'll be good now." I was like, probably if I'd have just left him in Navarre, he wouldn't have been any worse for wear because no one would have known. But he's come to the hospital and got some good roleplay out of it, you know. He had a good time. He did some throwing up. He did some passing out.
Oh, he did some luxurious fainting.
Yeah, kind of. Mostly just like he was given something that was like, they were like, it's going to make you sleepy. He's like, okay. And then he was like, drifting off. I was like, okay.
I love that. I love that for him.
So yeah, we had a good time. And then I took him back to Navarre and I was like, right, everyone. Next time any of you gets poisoned, come to the hospital. I don't care what anyone gives you on the field. Come to the hospital. So I did well. I feel like I did some good hospital wrapping there, you know.
I've discovered your petty rival needs to be a battle medic.
Yes.
And then when you start battle medicing, they need to be in the hospital. You're not allowed to go on skirmishes or anything together. Because there's every chance someone might die. Not because of any negligence, but because you're overhealing them too much. You've given them too much morphine at this point, but that's just because you're trying to one-up the person who just gave morphine to someone else.
I like it.
Consider this Lilywyn's formal application for a nemesis. I will clip this and put this on the internet. Like, on its own.
Just on its own.
I'll edit together what Lilywyn needs in a nemesis. Please inquire within.
Petty rivalries only, please.
Petty rivalry only.
We'll build up to the enemies to lovers slow burn. That could be like the next nemesis.
Enemies to platonic soulmates.
Yeah, that's what this company.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's what this one is.
Yeah.
Enemies to we can't live without each other because otherwise we're not as good. But in a platonic way.
But like we've just got to the point now where like I don't know how to function without trying to one up this person.
Yeah, enemies to you complete me, but I don't want to bang you kind of energy. There's better ways for me to put that, but you know what? I like it.
But sure, it works.
Listen, Cadwgan is now friends with, like, in his opinion, the leading love poet in Dawn, not in Dawn, in the Empire. This is in his opinion. Don't come for me, Synod, or anyone else really. So if you want advice on love, and he's still alive, and Rowan's still alive, actually. Come to think about it, Rowan keeps getting death threats.
Oh dear.
Not like written down or like, oh, we're gonna kill you, but They're just in the wrong
kill
place at the wrong
Rowan.
time.
Rowan's lovely.
They're a mischievous sort. They're a scamp.
But
But
they're
Cadwgan
lovable
enjoys it.
scamp.
Cadwgan thinks it's fun.
A lovable scamp.
A very lovable scamp. We didn't talk about the letters in Navarre. There was the poisoning, but there was something else. Standing.
That was to do with the letters.
Yes, but it was the one that Brennos got one, and Navarre as a nation got one, and someone else got one.
Yeah, it was Idwin. All the same.
Idwyn.
All the same thing.
Yep. Oh, really?
Yeah, so it was something to do with, I think, because some people, from reading some Hots and Nots Facebook posts, it was basically like kind of an escape room vibe thing, but like around
It gave me
Anvil.
Saw energy.
Yeah, and so some people got to do that,
Ooh.
like coming from the letters, because there was a cache of herbs somewhere that was mentioned in the main
it was
letter,
the find the cache of herbs or we don't feed the war chest.
which they didn't find the cache of herbs, but also they managed to, like, I don't know how they stopped the poisoning, but no one got poisoned. No one got poisoned.
No one got
It
no
was
one
fine.
got given a card.
No one got poisoned.
But I just remember that Brennos saying something while he's like dying, and the rest of like Split Root and all that are basically going, "Stay the fuck down." I remember. I think they're from Brackensong, and I feel bad that I don't know their name. But the Draugr Vate, who often is at Vate's council, having like the "I broke a realm for us" kind of moment. And by that I mean they legitimately said that, and I went, "You can do that?"
Yeah, the last time I was this angry, I broke a realm. I was like,
Yes.
okay, let's like all just breathe.
Yes, because it was about the branding. It was about all the fighting about the branding. Because he basically went, Navarre, you cannot fight yourself. Like the last time I was this angry and this insulted. No, it was about the letters, because it was an.
It was about the
insult to
letters.
Navarre.
I think it was both. I think it was a build
I'm
up.
mixing everything together.
It kind of all happened.
Yeah. It was all very exciting.
It was a bit of a bubbling pot.
Yep.
Navarre on Friday.
Because it was the like that. Last time I was this angry, I broke a realm, and I love how everyone else kind of had a like solemn moment of, that is a huge thing to do, and we cannot let you do that again. My internal monologue was, how do you do that?
Mine was
Tell
very much
me your secrets, sir.
Oh no, let's not do that again. That sounds bad.
Listen, I've been reading the Overwhelmed by Autumn section of the Cambion page.
Oh?
Let's just say...
Is that where you're going?
Not right now. Cadwgan has got way too much to do, but apparently there's a load of, like a mysterious autumn magics has gone over the Empire.
Okay.
Like at the end of the last summit or something. So, yes, Cadwgan's already getting an increase in autumn. He's gonna get more autumny without actually physically getting more autumny, other than his actual trappings that I'm increasing.
Nice. I do kind of want to, when I get more points, look into maybe like what day rituals there are.
There's quite a lot of them. I think a lot of them are to do with information and like learning things. Because day is all about curiosity and revealing information. Night is about sensation and disguise, but I think not in like a mischievous way. I think it's passions.
Yeah, I be Meryl. I know.
You say that. I'm Cambion, and I fully have Cadwgan make up shit about Cambions all the time. He doesn't understand them. He's like, he wasn't the only Cambion in his steading, because that's literally impossible considering how Cambion children are. But he's very much like, I don't know. I just do these things. I don't know if it's because I'm me or if it's because I'm this or what. I'm blaming it on the Cambion bit. So what?
I do feel like if you'd have asked Lily about her scales and her eyes, like her eyes have always been like as long as she remembers. I like the idea that she was born with blue eyes and then they turned black, but like when baby's eyes turn color normally, but she wouldn't know that because her parents are dead.
Yeah, for as long as she's known, they've been like that.
Spoilers, nobody knows that. Don't use that. You don't know that.
I think most people in the Empire have dead parents. I think Cadwgan's maybe the exception, kind of.
Kind
It's
of.
only on a
It's fine. Yeah,
technicality.
Cadwgan probably knows. But I'm just.
Yeah. No one else.
I see you, viewer.
I mean,
But yeah, I feel like as like when she would have had like a little patch of scales and it would have got bigger, like as she moved to Navarre and like fostered her curiosity and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So they would have been like a bit itchy,
oh.
but like only a little bit.
I like to think that Cadwgan's labyrinth lines, they like heat up, like the skin gets warmer, so it's almost like you're blushing, but not. So he'll feel like really warm just about here whenever he wakes up because the labyrinth marks change so often, and he's just like,
Nice.
which is why he was like, why is this bit of my face so warm when he'd like covered them? And then he looked in a mirror and went, for virtue's sake. Saying that, E4 is going to be your next event. E3 will be mine. I will be the sole wizard in the field.
The soul wizard.
So I will probably invite a
Yeah,
guest on.
I'm moving and
Aw.
I'm starting a new job and it's far
You're
away.
being an
and
adult. You're being a human, and that's okay.
yeah, I have to get paid so I can come to
Yeah.
more info.
Need money for LARP. For the E3 video, I'll probably get a guest. I already have at least one person who I've gone slots open, and they've gone. "Ooh."
Slots open.
I will still
that'd
tell
be
you
so
everything about it.
sad.
Trust me.
So
or I
sad to
could
not
just
be on the podcast.
I could just not tell you until the podcast, and then just
I just crash
have your
anyway. I'm
reaction.
just gonna find out somehow when you're doing it. I'm just gonna crash anyway.
Well, it's fine. We can for E4. What kind of stuff do you want to do next time? What bits of the game do you want to mess about with? What kind of things do you want to do? Nemesis board is up there.
Nemesis board is up there. I want a Nemesis. I want like, I just want some more like good RP relationships.
Yes.
Other than that, I don't know. I do want to like try because I do have 1 point in magic and I haven't used anything. I haven't done any magic yet.
Come with me to the Hall of Worlds. It's very warm in
I'd
there.
quite like to like at least experience some part of that game. And if Mortera doing more Whispers Through the Black Gate, you said that was incredible. Let's go see one of those.
There was a Navarre one immediately after, and I
it was
love
Phil
Navarre.
Larkin.
Yeah, poor Larkin. We lost so many generals in the last 2 goddamn events. We can't keep hold of them. No, we still have one.
I know.
Yeah, it's either the Blackthorn or the Quiet Step that we've kept. I don't remember which one Brenos was in charge of.
Yeah, Brenos is dead.
Icella's Dance, and that was getting replaced this summit anyway because that's when re-election is. But Larkin died. Brenos died, but I cannot remember if he was General of the Quiet Step or the Blackthorn.
I don't know.
Anyway.
Military game.
I just remember names, that's all.
Completely over my head.
It was incredible. I am sure that Navarre, you did wonderfully. I think because Cadwgan is so now set on Dawn, that's why I was like, I am not. This is not affecting me. The winter magic I've just witnessed affected me, but this did not.
Yeah. Going back to your question, I want to interact with more Stridings and Steadings. Because I want to find a group.
Yeah.
And have like a little home base in Navarre that I can come back to.
This is another petition for Lilywyn's Striding, Steading. If any of you want a Mero Physic who has a single point in magic.
Hospital rep! I'm the hospital rep!
Yep, if you want the hospital rep.
You probably see me now, like quite a few people came up to me and said thank you for taking it because I thought they were going to force me to do it. You're so welcome.
You threw your hand upon the blade for them, truly.
The last 3 are all dead. It's possibly a cursed job.
Don't die. If I'm not allowed to die, you can't die either.
Yeah, it was very much basically, we would normally have the last hospital rep teach you how to do this job, but she's dead. And the previous hospital rep is also dead. And the one before that also died last summit. Or like died today or something. I was like, okay!
You don't half-pick the dangerous jobs, don't you?
Well, I'm not getting out on the field
yet,
so...
Good point. I mean, by that point, there will be more people to keep you safe, and you'll be more experienced. kind of thing. Like you'll have
I'm not averse to taking the field if that
you'll have
affects your
magic items.
my petition. I'm not averse to taking the field.
Listen, I've got some mage armor in my head in the works.
Oh,
One day when Cadwgan takes the field, it's going to be glorious.
I hope we can take the
should
field
be.
together.
I really want Navarre and Dawn to be fighting on the same day when I eventually take the field as a battle mage.
Yeah.
Because I just live for Cadwgan in the Dornish line, like as in the line to go in the gate, not in the line as in the line. And just seeing Lilywyn and just being like, hey. Yeah. Taking the field, getting a nemesis. Not taking the field, but potentially taking the field to get a nemesis.
Potentially taking the field.
Yeah.
Getting a nemesis, finding striding.
Finding a striding. Finding a striding for some reason made me laugh. It rhymes ever so slightly in like such a whimsical way.
Yeah. Also, we've got new friends coming.
We do. We have new friends coming with us.
So hopefully, you know, shenanigans with new friends.
Oh, all the shenanigans. That's what my job is. My job is shenanigan. I have shenaned once, I will shenan again.
Yes.
As I said as we were walking through Anvil at one point. I'm trying to think what
I can't hear shenanigans without thinking of, this won't make any sense to anyone watching, but without thinking of Helios and Zara. The Shenana twins!
They weren't even Shenana twins, they were platonic soulmates, man.
Yeah, they were.
Literally the only person who mattered to Helios at that point.
Oh,
again, this is maybe editing Alex will put context in here. Maybe he will, maybe he won't. I don't care. I just love them. E3 though, what the hell am I gonna do at E3?
I don't know. Oh, we need to organize as well. We wanted our little in between.
We're doing not an official player event, but like a tiny little thing because Cadwgan is going to Dawn.
The timing basically is all not really worked out, so we're having to do it in between events.
But I don't know if I'm getting bonded next event. I am hoping. If any of the egregores are watching this, please advise me. Otherwise, I'm going to come find you. at E3, not at your houses. Not at your real life houses, no.
I think they knew what you meant.
I know, but I just heard it. Like in the monitoring, I heard myself say it, and I just went, "Oh no." I know. So yeah, I hope that's the plan because I have a glow up planned. So because he's not going to be Navarre anymore, he is taking some of the Navarre hearth magic, which also technically is part of Dornish hearth magic. Dornish hearth magic works on tokens and favors.
I was gonna say as a favor, yeah.
So they're gonna do the braiding hearth magic with a bit from each of the three of them. That they're gonna each have one, and because of the Navarre hearth magic of braiding it being a symbol of connection, and the Dornish hearth magic of it being a token or a favor, I like the way they intersect. So we're gonna sort of do that between games. Not as an official thing, but because when the fuck else are we gonna do it? Really?
Exactly.
I'm getting a fit together for the Glory Gala, which is happening. It's gonna be incredible. I've heard some plans for other people's fits, and my poor little heart will not be able to take it. It is gonna be so good.
Wait, the Glory Gala?
The Glory Gala is something happening at E3 that I'll talk about after that. I will tell you this after we finish recording.
Okay.
So there's generally it depends on if I get bonded to the nation, but I might get another farm upgrade or another step towards the farm upgrade, because you have to get that ritual done at every event. Generally, I just want to cause more chaos. I just want to cause more issues for people. I don't know where I'm going. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just gonna go cause more issues. And it's gonna be great. I kind of want to explore the League, admittedly, because they've got their mask festival. So that's gonna be
okay.
Fun. It's gonna be great.
It's spring!
The comment's gonna be filled with Navarre just going, "It's spring!"
It better be.
I love you, Navarre.
I'm summoning them.
And I think this was maybe Cadwgan being allowed to step away from Navarre and go into Dawn, but after like halfway through Saturday, I was getting real annoyed. I think it's because I was so hot and it was happening so often that I was just like, I want to be excited, but I can't right now. I can't celebrate this heat. It makes me want to die.
Well, E4, let's do it.
E4, we'll go to a leagueish play. Who knows? I might make some friends in the league and they can get me in. This is my application for friends in the league. No, I'm kidding. We'll talk about it at E3.
No, it's okay. Cadwgan wants leagueish friends.
Cadwgan wants
Write
friends
your resumes below.
everywhere.
Why you would be a good friend for Cadwgan.
Cadwgan wants friends in all the nations, so all nations may apply.
You must detail how you're going to help cause shenanigans. Magic. Just stuff about magic.
Mark. I'm okay with that, honestly. That's good. Those are the two requirements. Shenanigans and magic. Magic shenanigans, extra points.
Even better.
Even better. Thank you all so much for watching. It has been an absolute pleasure to spend 2 and a bit hours talking about this goddamn thing we do every 6 weeks. And I can't wait to go back on the field again and see some of you out there to cause shenanigans and cause mischief.
Like and subscribe!
Yes, like and subscribe. It helps with the algorithm.
We want to defeat the algorithm, yes. Valorn. Thank you.
The Valorn-rhythm, I tried. Leave a comment. Tell us about your Empire memories from E1 and E2. Tell us if you met us and I've forgotten your name, because I'm really bad with names, apparently.
Or if you don't want to do that, just, straight to the Empire! There you go, Navarre people. Enjoy.
I mean, I guess for Dawn, isn't it for love?
More yelling
just
in the
for
comments.
love or something like that.
I don't know. I'm not in Dawn.
I remembered a lot of yelling. Yeah. We'll see you all next time. Thank you very much for watching. Please like, subscribe, comment, whatever. And we'll catch you all next time. Or maybe on the field. We best see you on the field. We better do. And before I forget, if you want £15 off your first Empire ticket and you've never been before, we have player codes in the description if you want to shill those. They help us out. It means we can keep going and keep making this ridiculous content for you all. If not, no worries. Please, come to Empire. Have a great time. Make some friends. That's what I did.
Come speak to me at E4 if you want to be in the hospital stuff.
Yeah, if you want to be in the hospital stuff and you don't have the patience for E4, find me or find Gawain. And we'll get you in contact.
Basically, just go to Vine's meet after standing on Friday and they will look after you.
They will. They really will. Yeah. That's all from me.
All from me.
Wonderful. Bye!